Welcome to DEFCON 3. I'm KT McFarland. The terror group ISIS is ramping up attacks in North Africa. Well, this week, terrorists in Libya's capital, Tripoli, have so far launched attacks against the Moroccan and South Korean embassies. This uptick in violence has the region on alert as ISIS tries to expand its reach. Well, here with reaction are James Robbins, senior fellow with the American Foreign Policy Council, and retired Army Colonel Wesley Martin. Let me go to you first, Colonel Martin. We're used to thinking about ISIS in Syria and Iraq, but now they seem to have leapfrogged into North Africa. What are their ambitions?
What we're going to find out, ISIS is going to be leapfrogging all over Africa and into Europe and into North America as well. And we're already starting to see that happening. The problem all starts with the Arab Spring, and I remember Hillary Clinton saying how wonderful Arab Spring was, and a lot of people, George Friedman, Robert Kaplan, and myself and others were saying, when Gaddafi falls, the attic door to Africa is going to be opened. And that's exactly what's happened. Al-Qaeda came in. Gaddafi was not a good person, but he kept other bad people out. Now they're able to get in there, and you're going to see the attacks as you did in Libya. You're going to see them in Tunisia, and you're going to see it go further down to the south.
James, let me turn to you. Is what we're seeing now in North Africa, are these local groups, are these local Tunisians, local Libyans, or is it ISIS coming from, say, Syria and Iraq, bringing foreign fighters into the region, James?
Well, it's a combination of factors. Part of it is fighters from these areas who have gone to Syria, joined up with ISIS, gotten experience there, and then come back. Some of them are local militias, tribal groups, and the like. And some are ISIS leaders coming from Syria or Iraq, coming in to organize and exploit the chaos and the opportunities that exist in Libya and Tunisia.
Colonel, let me turn back to you. You know, we've seen al-Shabaab in Somalia. We've seen the al-Nusra Front. We've seen ISIS. We've seen al-Qaeda. There seem to be a lot of different groups. Is there any central coordination of them, or are they independent actors in each region?
My estimate is they're independent actors within region. They have the differences between each other. But we got to remember back in the 1970s, for a long time we thought the Palestinian Liberation Army, the Red Army faction, the Red Brigade were all independent. But later we found out, and it was very well researched and proved that they were actually brothers in blood. We will eventually start finding the same thing out, where they are cooperating, but not, from what I've estimated so far, not as well as we can expect in the future.
James, what do you think? Local actors or part of an international movement?
Well, they're both. They're local actors who are joining on to this international movement. There was a report recently that there's a training camp in Mauritania in North Africa where Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, and ISIS are all training their people and bringing them in from around the world. So it starts off as local, but what they're building is an international network in the same way that Al-Qaeda did with global reach.
Okay, well then let's turn to Egypt. That's the crown jewel in the entire region, the largest Muslim country in the region, and the longest history. I've been to meet President Sisi in Cairo, and he talks about the threat from the Sinai Peninsula, but he's talking more about the Muslim Brotherhood, and he's talking about Al-Qaeda. Colonel Martin, is your sense that ISIS is going to spread to Egypt as well?
ISIS is going to try to spread to Egypt. But I've got to give General Sisi a lot of credit. He stopped the genocide that Morsi was doing, in spite of the blessing from President Obama that Morsi was receiving. General Sisi, trained in Britain as a military officer, brought a lot of stability to the region, but he has definitely got his work cut out for him. And ISIS will be trying to work in his reign as well. And I agree, everything that has also been said in this interview, that we're going to see ISIS spreading out a lot more, the regional actors, just like in Al-Qaeda in Iraq. When I was there, my first tour, Al-Qaeda was a separate organization. But later, in my second tour, I found out that they had brought in all the local fighters and called them Al-Qaeda as well. General Sisi has his work cut out for him.
James, let me give you the last word. To what extent can we get all of these different radical Islamic groups to fight each other instead of trying to take over countries? Is that too optimistic an ambition?
Well, it would be great if they did. We already see the Sunni and Shia insurgents fighting each other. It would be wonderful if we could have the CIA or somebody sow factional discord amongst them and have them start killing each other, that would be fantastic. That's hard to do because they tend to cooperate lately more than they conflict. But if they will start shooting each other, that would be great.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, gentlemen. James and Colonel Martin, thanks for joining us. And check out FoxNews.com for more on ISIS and the threat of radical Islam. I'm KT McFarland, and thanks for watching.